Well, you're probably wondering why I'm look like I'm dressed for a luau. This will all make sense in a few minutes, okay? But right now we're here to talk about the new Disney Pixar film, Inside Out. Now, it's been a long time since we've had a Pixar film. I mean, Disney's own animation department has been reigning king lately with Frozen and Wreck-It Ralph and Tangled. You know, where has Pixar been? Well, they've been working diligently on their stories, and of course, everything is well worth the wait. And now we have Inside Out from Pete Docter, who also directed Up, and this is probably one of the most creative films to come out of Pixar Studios. Who didn't, as a little kid, imagine that things lived in your head? And I mean like in a sane way, not some sort of Arkham Asylum way. But I mean that you had voices in your head and they told you what to do, or you had an imaginary friend. Well, Pixar takes that a little step further and goes inside the mind of an 11-year-old girl named Riley. And all of her emotions, you've got joy, you've got fear, you got anger, you got disgust, and you got sadness. And of course, they go out and find the best voice talent, the best actors in Hollywood to convey all of these emotions. You got Amy Poehler from Parks and Recreation and Saturday Night Live doing joy. Bill Hader, who is one of my idols. He's a big classic movie fan. I watch you on Turner Classic Movies every summer, Bill. He does fear. And then you have Phyllis Smith from The Office, who does sadness. And of course, Lewis Black, you know, the angry comedian doing anger, you know. So everything is, in terms of casting, so far so good. Now all these emotions live inside Riley's head, and they have this big control center, so anytime something happens, the emotions chime in. And when you're an 11-year-old girl, emotions are running like a river, right? Of course, the movie takes place in Minnesota, and she's having growing pains. And then the family all of a sudden moves to San Francisco. So to go from the land of 1,000 lakes to a townhome inside San Francisco, that's a pretty big deal for an 11-year-old girl. So she has a lot of emotion, she has a lot of resentment, and of course she does drastic things, and her emotions go crazy. Now what's really cool is when we get inside the mind of Riley, Joy, they store all these memories. So Joy has to go look for long-term memories to remind her of how her life used to be and how Riley should, you know, take a step back and take a breather. But of course, as Joy and Sadness go on this journey, they get trapped in these memories and they go to these different parts of her mind that sometimes are pleasant, sometimes are very creative, and sometimes are just downright scary. So Joy and Sadness are on this road trip and they go in a part of her mind that's, I like to call the subconscious or imagination land. So every 11-year-old kid, especially me, I was one of those kids that was afraid of the dark. That's why Monsters Incorporated, I was like, there's monsters under my bed, and if you laid still, they wouldn't attack you at night, and I had the nightlight and everything. So there's parts where they go into the subconscious, into the imagination part that really, I think the movie really shines, at least for me. I like those weird, dark, kind of disturbing things, you know, especially when you're a kid, you know. Like I said, I had an active imagination. And Robert Klein, what was the character's name? His name is Bing Bong. And he's this really strange imaginary creature that Riley made up in her early childhood that's like an elephant hybrid kind of a really weird creature. But I think Richard kind of is like their good luck charm because he was in Bug's Life and a couple other animated films, but he actually steals every scene he's in. And he's trying to help Joy and Sadness and himself get back to her mind in order to stop Riley from doing the wrong thing. So Inside Out coming out of Pixar is one of the most creative things ever to come out of the studio, which is an oxymoron, right? Creative and Pixar, they go together, right? But anyway, Inside Out is just total imagination. Now, I had to see this movie twice. I have to admit, the first time I saw it, it was a little bit overwhelming, and there was a lot going on here. This movie's been in development for years now. So I had to sit there and see it a second time in order to take everything in. And I have to say that the second time, I caught a lot more than I saw in my first showing. But Inside Out, it's going to be a breakout hit of the summer, and it's going to be a real creative achievement for Pixar, John Lasseter, and Pete Docter. A job incredibly done. I give it a grade of A. Okay, now's the time to tell you why, look, I'm going to a luau. I'm a big tiki fan. If you ever visit me in my house in Las Vegas, I have a guest room you can stay in that's all tiki out. I mean, I've got Disneyland influences in there. I've stuff from Hawaii. I have family in Hawaii, and also stuff from Haiti. I did some charity work in Haiti. So there's this bamboo floors and bamboo wallpaper and Disneyland attractions and posters on the wall, all kinds of cool stuff. People come from far and wide to say, hey, I want to see the tiki room. I want to stay in the tiki room. Okay, that's to tell you because I'm wearing this because at the beginning of Inside Out, there's another Pixar short film. It's a tradition, and it's called Lava. And his name is James, I had to write it down, James Ford Murphy. And he wrote this short film about a volcano that falls in love with another volcano. It's a love story that takes place over millions of years. And it's got such a Hawaiian flair and Hawaiian mood to it. He has a little ukulele song that he sings about falling in love. And they actually got one of the big artists from the Big Island, Hilo. His name was Kuana Torres Kahale. Oh my gosh. Kuana Torres Kahele. Hope I'm saying that right. And he sings this incredible ballad, this love song in Hawaiian style about falling in love with another volcano. I'm telling you guys, it's called Lava. I liked it better than Inside Out, which is, I just think this short film is so creative and it's just so inspiring. And that is why I'm wearing this Enchanted Tiki Room shirt just for that occasion. Anyway, Lava, make sure, well, you have to stay for it. It's at the beginning of the film. Yeah. All right, for more reviews and interviews, just surf on over to my website at vegasfilmcritic.com. Make sure you pick up my podcast at iTunes. And if you like what you see here on my channel, please subscribe. I'm Jeffrey K. Howard. Mahalo.